are live for our watch-along here of Socceroos taking on Colombia.
Let's change over our microphone. How's this? Let us know in the live chat. Can hear us loud and clear. It is it's the middle of a Wednesday here on the east coast of Australia. It looks like it's a chilly evening in New York City where this game is being played. Colombia, Socceroos, Australia. We need to see a response after the defeat to Venezuela just a few days ago. How are you feeling heading into this game? Let me know your emotions, your thoughts, as the national anthems are currently being sung passionately by players on the field, by fans in the stands. An interesting, unique game here for the Socceroos as well. This game being played at what appears to be a baseball stadium, which is, I don't think many of, at least the Socceroos players would have played a football match in a baseball stadium. But hey, something different. And of course, a different kind of opponent here. Colombia, fantastic footballing nation and a team who has, full of quality players. So this is a huge test for this Socceroos side who were disappointing, it should be said, against Venezuela. We were a little bit lackluster in that game. Some big changes to the lineup, which we'll dive into in just a moment. We've got the lineup graphic here as well. And it's good to see that there were some changes made after that loss to Venezuela. So very excited for this game, just to see how the Socceroos respond. Thanks for joining us here for our live watch along. This game is about to kick off. G'day, Butter. He says, the All Whites are also about to kick off. Yes, we love our friends over there, New Zealand. And who are they taking on again? Let me double check. Ecuador. New Zealand taking on Ecuador, which has just kicked off as well. That game being played in New Jersey. Harrison, New Jersey. Sports Illustrated Stadium, apparently. There you go. Got a few A-League players in that New Zealand squad as well. So, it's this is a really big game for the Socceroos, obviously as well, because this is the last game until March next year, where the next international break is. So we're coming up against a high quality opponent here. It would be brilliant to get back on track here, even a draw. I think if the Socceroos can get a draw against a good Colombia team, I think we'll take that. I do think that would be all right. Colombia are a team who have qualified for the World Cup next year as well. Colombia, in fact, took on New Zealand just a few days ago. 2-1 win for Colombia over New Zealand in that game. Hey, let's talk about the lineup that we've got as well. Some big changes. Let's talk. What do you guys make of this lineup? So Paul Izzo in goals. Big change. I mean, Patrick Beach was probably Australia's best player in the loss to Venezuela a few days ago. Patrick Beach with some fantastic saves on debut, but Paul Izzo starts. So no Matty Ryan once again, which is interesting. We're expecting this back five to shape up in this way with Miller at right wing back, Truin, Degenek, Burgess, centre back, and Rolls at left wing back. We have seen Kyle Rolls play at left wing back a couple times for Australia. And Kai Truin, second consecutive start. Huge for the Melbourne City defender / midfielder. O'Neill and Irvine in midfield. So Jackson Irvine starts after recently returning from injury. Riley McGree also in that starting 11 in an attacking position we expect alongside Connor Metcalf. Mohamed Toure is leading the line. Great to see everyone joining us in the live chat. G'day, John says a draw would be fair. Dude, honestly, I mean, especially after the result a few days ago for Australia, I would take a draw. Here we go, folks. About to get underway. If you're in Australia, you can watch this game on Paramount Plus. And we have kicked off. So, we'll keep an eye on how exactly we line up. But first glance, it looks like our expectation for the actual lineup and formation is indeed correct. There's a long ball for Toure. Toure's in. Great chance for Australia. The flag is up. It's a good save by the goalkeeper, but as reminiscent of what we saw early on against Venezuela, where Toure was getting in behind early in that game as well. Unable to get on the score sheet, but that's 30 seconds in. That's what Mo Toure can do, man. He's got the pace. Direct on goal. Good shot, but it was offside. Luke says Burgess on the left wing back, according to the broadcast. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. It does look like Kai Rolls. You can see that number 4, Kai Rolls, appears to be on that left-hand side of that back 5, which is, yeah, what we'd expect. Which, look, I was surprised. I mean, Rolls played that position against New Zealand a couple months back. And, look, I'm a Mariners fan. I've been following Kai Rolls for a long time, and he's predominantly a centre-back. Can play left-back. But left wing back, it's certainly a new role for Kai Rolls, and he was good. He was good against New Zealand in those games in that position. And it's quite a defensive sort of approach, isn't it? Bringing in Kai Rolls at left wing back, a more defensive minded player compared to someone like we had Craig Goodwin start in that role. As Colombia are really applying the pressure here, Australia playing out from the back. Goodness me, this press from Colombia is just relentless. Great chance for Colombia. Rodriguez is in. Just loses it. Bit of a mess at the back there for the Socceroos for a moment. That was a little bit nervy. Obey in the live chat as well says would have swapped O'Neill for Ocon just to see how he'd play with Irvine. Yeah, and look, Ocon Exler was all right against Venezuela. Looked pretty comfortable. He's having a good season so far for Sydney FC, his club side, so we'll see if he features off the bench in this game. But it certainly feels like just looking at this lineup that we've got for this match, it certainly feels like that this is a more, I guess, experienced, settled starting 11. With Irvine coming in, with McGree coming in, you've got quality being added to the side here. This is, I mean, even if you look at that front 5, like even if you look at the midfield in O'Neill and Irvine, like those two could be starting in the World Cup. Those two could be the two starting central midfielders in the World Cup for Australia. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the front 3 starting the World Cup. If McGree stays injury free, if Metcalf maintains his form, Mo Ture, I think we're all expecting will be the starting striker of the World Cup next year for Australia. So this well could be the front 3 that we see. I mean, whether Aaron Kunda is in the mix as well, but it certainly feels like basically almost a full strength Australia side. Of course, still without Jordy Boss out with injury, Harry Suter still yet to come back, Alessandro Ducati out with injury, but with maybe those guys in there as well. Altogether, they would make up Australia's strongest side. Luke asks, do we see Overy on the field today, or was he just there for Popper to look at in training? Yeah, it's a fair question, hey, because we've seen it a lot lately with Tony Popovich, where he'll call up these young, promising players, but won't give them any game time. It's just a common theme now with Popper. So, considering it's a really tough opposition here in Colombia as they're coming forward again, great chance. Can't get a shot on target there, Colombia, but again, we're moving forward, looking threatening there. I don't think we will see Overy. Yeah, it's just such a huge game for him to come into. So I'd be surprised if he was involved. If he is, it probably would only be the last maybe 5 minutes, just to give him his debut at least. So the Soccer is adamant to play it from the back here after 4 minutes of game time. No real efforts on goal as of yet. Colombia looking threatening going forward on a few occasions with the ball. This is... I am really excited for this game. I am, because this is going to be a real... Like, if we lose this game... Yes, it's Colombia and they're a top team. But maybe there are some real sort of alarm bells for the Socceroos if we have a 3rd consecutive loss. Maybe Popper has to look at the tactics that are being deployed. The most effective thing that we could be doing. But if we win this game, it's a huge result and we're back on track. And maybe the losses against Venezuela and USA are just a little blip on the radar. Great to see Jackson Irvine starting again tonight, wearing the captain's armband. Ball over the top, Metcalf. Trying to win it using his body. I don't know if that's a foul. I mean, the Aussie players aren't happy. It looked like he was just trying to shield the ball. Anyway, free kick. So, Evil Emu asks, are we ever getting Sutar back? Yeah. I'm sure he'll be back soon enough. Colombia winning the ball high up the park. Well done, Kai Rolls. Using his strength to win it back. Australia have a free kick in the defensive half. So, A-League is the best. G'day, mate. Asks, why don't we just play easy opposition? Can't remember us ever having this kind of run into a World Cup. I think it's just a good test to come up against some high-quality opponents. You know, it'd be cool to come up against some easy opponents and get, some big wins, but ultimately on the World Cup, we've got to, if you want to, have a successful run at the World Cup, you've got to beat some of the best teams in the world, and Colombia, top South American nation, so this is a great test. Like, if we could get a win here, sort of gives us that belief heading into the World Cup next year that we are capable of defeating, a high-quality opponent. Luke's comment a bit earlier as well. Sorry, you missed that. Says, I think we might make regular swaps with Metcalf, Kunda, Goodwin and McGree. All the starters in the World Cup, all depending on the opponents. Yeah, Kunda and Goodwin. We expect them to be there. So, Colombia, looking pretty comfortable now. Maintaining possession of the ball at the back. Colombia, who defeated New Zealand just a few days ago, 2-1. They're on a pretty good run of form at the moment as well, so this really is the ultimate test for Australia. Who, of course, we should not forget that incredible winning run that Australia did go on the early part of this year. Tony Popovic's first, handful of games. We had some great form. Undefeated for so long, all the way up until last month against USA. Thanks for joining our live watch along here. 8.5 minutes in, still 0-0. No real chances yet, as Colombia are starting to control more of the possession. Hit that like button, support the channel, folks. Appreciate you joining us for this live watch along. Ion Drive, g'day, asks up, why aren't Channel 10 showing this game? Not happy. Yeah, it's a discussion that comes up every time the Socceroos play now, hey. Because it's generally the case where it seems to be that at least one of the games is on free-to-air, hey. And then it seems to be one of them is on Paramount Plus. We obviously have to subscribe. Look, I think it's obviously worth it. You've got access to all of the A-League's action. Asian Champions League, so there's a lot of football content there, that's for sure. But obviously it would be great to have the Australian national teams, all their games free, available to watch for everyone in Australia. So Australia's defensive shape being tested here, 10 minutes in. Colombia well and truly in control of this game. And the Socceroos were really backed into our own half at the moment, but we've been defensively very, very good under Tony Popovic. Obviously, this dropping into this sort of a 5-4-1 can be really difficult to break down at times for opponents. Venezuela did manage to make that breakthrough in our last game. So, Kai Truman has it playing out from the back. Irvine, pressure's on. Well done, Jackson Irvine. Burgess rolls on the left. Let's see what we can do here. It's a rare spell in possession. going forward for Australia. McGree, a little bit of space. I like the idea. He was trying to slip it in for Mo Toure there. Two former Adelaide United boys in McGree and Toure. But you get the sense that against a good team here in Colombia, we can't afford to make mistakes. We can't afford to give the ball away, sloppy touches, wayward passes. It can't really be afforded in these sorts of games against quality opponents. Hey, Australia might have to be patient in this game. Colombia, so dangerous the way they're set up. Some really good players in those wide areas, in those attacking positions. Luis Diaz on that left wing, it looks like, for Colombia. Rodriguez as well. Captain of the side there for Colombia. He's been involved in attack already. Got some high quality individuals in this Colombia team. This is the last game for the Socceroos in 2025. It's overall, it's been a very good year. The calendar year itself, 2025, has been a successful one for Australia, beating some high quality opponents in those World Cup qualifiers in that last window. Saudi Arabia, Japan getting the victories there. A couple wins against New Zealand as well. Win against Canada, and of course that loss against USA and the loss against Venezuela, just sort of putting a dampener on things a little bit. But if we could take a draw here against Colombia, I think we'll take that, and I think you could still call 2025 a success. Look, it is interesting, like the social media comments coming out from the Venezuela game, quite negative, and of course we didn't play well at all. But I still think we're on the right track, man. Luke talking about that Scotland-Denmark game. Yeah, I watched the highlights of that earlier this morning, actually. Some incredible goals, hey? Scotland qualifying for the World Cup. A lot of nations securing their tickets to next year's World Cup across the planet. Those European qualifiers starting to wrap up, at least the initial round. Miller on the right. Toure down the wing. Good challenge. Toure looking to burst down the wing, but it's closed down immediately. Miller, again with a bit of space on the right. What can Australia do here? It might come down to just a little sneaky ball over the top. Toure's looking to make a run. Neil, Deganek. McGree's dropped deep a couple times here just to get involved in the play. I don't mind that. Rolls. Couldn't really do much with that header. Rolls. So far, 15 minutes in, Australia quite ineffective going forward. Had some spells of possession, but in the middle of the field, but not really able to get going, moving forward. G'day, Adstar. Welcome. Sandy, if you're in Australia, you can watch the game on Paramount Plus. Not sure about our friends around the world. But in Australia, it is on Paramount Plus. So, back into this defensive 5-4-1 shape. Yeah, Riley McGree noticeably dropping deep quite a bit just to get involved in the play, picking up the ball. Obviously huge to have Riley McGree starting this game for Australia. He's Missed the first sort of chunk of the English Championship season with Middlesbrough due to injury, which is a shame. But obviously Middlesbrough are doing pretty well at the moment in the English Championship, and hopefully Riley McGree is really involved in that team from here on out. Jackson Irvine, of course, another big story as well, returning here, starting for the Socceroos. He came off the bench against Venezuela, but he missed the start of the season for St. Pauli in Germany. Luke says, I'm loving these countdowns to the derbies that pop up on Paramount Plus's feed. Don't remember them coming up last season. Yeah, man, it's cool. Yeah. It seems like a new thing. Hey, I've noticed it in a lot of the A-League games, and it's great to see it in these Socceroos games. Awesome. Really good idea just to sort of pop up the, you know. And the countdown's cool too. You know, everyone loves a good countdown. Sort of builds the hype. So, yeah, the Big Blue, some big games in the A-League this weekend. A-League Men's Big Blue on Saturday evening. Sydney FC, Melbourne Victory. One of the strongest and fiercest rivalries in the A-League. The Big Blue. Two of the most successful teams in the A-League. Two clubs who know what it takes to win trophies in the A-League, and they both face off on Saturday. Big game as well. Sydney FC in some good form at the moment. And Victory. A little bit of a lackluster start to the season for Melbourne Victory. So that'll be a huge game on Saturday. Huge. Thanks for joining us here on this Wednesday Arvo here on the east coast of Australia, wherever you're tuning in from. Hope you're doing well and hope you're enjoying the stream and enjoying this game. Socceroos unable to really get any control in this game. A few little passages of possession, but nothing really happening going forward. Need to try and get Moture a bit more involved in this game. But every time we break forward, the possession seems to come unstuck. Australia aren't rushing things going forward, that's for sure. We're not just looking to go long every time. We're trying to hold the ball a bit more. That much is apparent. We didn't have we had the lower amount of possession. We had about a third of the possession against Venezuela, which was disappointing because I was looking at the stats in Venezuela's previous games, man, and they do not usually in recent form, at least for Venezuela, they haven't had much possession at all on average in their games. So yeah, it was disappointing that sort of allowed Venezuela to really control that game. Socceroos just lackluster is like I think the word that sums it up. We just needed more from Australia against Venezuela, and we never got it. It never sort of clicked into that next gear. We needed to step up and be a little bit more adventurous, and we never really saw it. I mean, it's going to be tricky here against a good Colombia side to be adventurous as well, because we know if we push too far up this field, if we leave spaces exposed at the back, Colombia, quality team, we will be punished. Star asks, is Colombia fielding their best team? I mean, I'm no Colombian football expert, but I imagine it's pretty close to their strongest starting 11. They've got the likes of Luis Diaz starting, Rodriguez as well. I think I saw Davinson Sanchez at the back there as well. It certainly looks to be a strong team that Colombia are fielding. A-League is the best. Sorry, missed your comment a moment ago. Yes, I did see McTominay's goal. What a goal. Crazy bicycle kick. Fantastic. A-League is the best also with a comment here saying, why the heck did Popper call Alassane Touré up? Guy's done nothing except score one hat-trick. Most undeserved call-up. I mean, it's an interesting one. So Alassane Touré, I think we all saw his potential when he was breaking through at Adelaide United. Went over to MacArthur FC, went overseas to Europe, back in Australia now with Sydney FC, and he's certainly got the potential. As a Colombia player has just gone down holding, it's Rodriguez is down holding his face. Aidan O'Neill involved. I'm not sure if there was much in it. A yellow card is out. There's a yellow card for Aidan O'Neill here. Okay. And is it a free kick as well? Rodriguez, well, the contact was very minimal from Aidan O'Neill. Very minimal. But it's a free kick for Colombia and a yellow card to Aidan O'Neill. And it's a set-piece opportunity coming up for Colombia. Good to see that Rodriguez is okay. But just going back to A-League is the best there's comment regarding Alassane Touré. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a great hat-trick against Newcastle Jets a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I was surprised too. Especially considering that there's some pretty in-form forwards for Australia around the world. You look at the likes of Stamatolopoulos and Sapsford in Scotland, who are in great goal-scoring form, consistent form as well, and have been playing regularly over the last few months. So, yeah. What Popovich has shown us in his first year or so in charge is that he is very keen to call up A-League players. Very, very keen to call up A-League players, man. It's certainly something that that he is not afraid to do. Tony Popovich, doesn't matter what league you're playing in, if you're playing well, and if you have something to offer, you could be a Socceroo. Beta Simp, excuse me. Exo, thanks very much for the kind super chatters. Paul Izzo's just made a save. As soon as I look away from the screen. Free kick Australia. Appreciate the super chat. Says, surely the idea of bringing in Al Hassan is in the side was to see the chemistry between Mo and him. Pity we haven't seen it yet. I mean, obviously, yeah, you've got the two brothers there. And you've got another brother in Moussa Touré as well, who has featured for the young Socceroos. I mean, it would be interesting to see both Mo Touré and Al Hassan Touré play together. That would be interesting. We might see it today. Beta, thank you very much for that kind super chat. Really appreciate it. And thanks for joining us in the live stream. But yeah, it is certainly an interesting call up, the Alassane Touré one. Hey, look, he had a great chance against Venezuela when he came off the bench a few days ago. He's a decent player, Alassane Touré. But yeah, it's just... Look, he scored that hat-trick against Newcastle, but I don't think anyone expected to see Touré in that World Cup squad. But not doubting his quality, you know? It's just, he's not necessarily in like... It just feels like there's probably several other strikers, forwards, who are in good form at the moment. So, this game still just moving along at a steady pace. Dude, I missed that. Did Paul Izzo make as soon as I looked away to read that chat earlier, it looked like Paul Izzo made a save. Did I miss a save a minute ago? Paul Izzo. I mean, we don't forget, of course, that yes, that was a save, in fact, for Paul Izzo. That incredible performance from Paul Izzo against Canada last month. Unbelievable. What a game that was from Paul Izzo. We did a live watch along for that game, and if you guys were there, you know, we're all freaking out. For me, it was arguably the best, well, in my experience, in my years, probably the best goalkeeping performance I've seen from an Australian player for a Socceroos goalkeeper. It was a truly heroic performance from Paul Izzo in that game, who I think in that game showed that he's probably capable of being Australia's number one. And huge call that Paul Izzo gets to start again today ahead of Matty Ryan. Isn't this is quite a big narrative that's sort of developing here. Matty Ryan, again, not starting for the Socceroos. Paul Izzo got the 2 starts against New Zealand. And then Paul Izzo started against Canada. Matty Ryan got the start against USA, made a couple good saves in that game. And then in these games here, you had Patrick Beach thrown straight in, getting a debut. Huge opportunity for him, and he was good with some great saves. And now, in this game against a good opponent in Colombia, where Australia really feels like we're playing basically our strongest 11, Paul Izzo has gotten the nod ahead of Matty Ryan. So this game here is almost confirmation to us that Paul Izzo may well have overtaken now Matty Ryan for that starting goalkeeper position. I reckon it is. I reckon this is confirmation. This is Tony Popovich clearly going for a full-strength Socceroos lineup, and he started Paul Izzo instead of Matty Ryan. It is a huge statement. Adstar says Nestri is part of the top 11. Luke asks, do you think almost a chance for Australia going forward, but it breaks forward for Colombia. Luke asks, do you think the Ryan Izzo Beach are the trio that go to the World Cup? Well, a couple months ago, I thought we were set on Ryan Izzo Gauchi, and it could well be Ryan Izzo Gauchi. But hey, with Beach getting called up at this stage, and if Patrick Beach just maintains his form, he's made a great start to the season again with Melbourne City. If City have a good season in the A-League and Beach is just playing week in, week out, which of course he will, Patrick Beach could well be there. I mean, Joe Gauchi's a top goalkeeper. He's playing in League One at the moment. But I feel like, yeah, Patrick Beach might get the nod at this rate. Yeah. I think Ryan and Izzo are almost certainly going to the World Cup. I don't think anything's stopping those guys unless hopefully there's no injuries. But yeah, that third spot feels like it's a bit up for grabs at the moment, eh? Joe Gauchi and Patrick Beach. Hey, it's been cool though. Under Tony Popovich, we're seeing 4 different goalkeepers. 4 different goalkeepers in the last year. Joe Gauchi was starting for the Socceroos when Tony Popovich came in. And now Joe Gauchi is maybe the 4th choice goalkeeper now, hey? Adstar, Boston Sutar definitely still part of the strongest starting 11 for the Socceroos. Geordie Boss, absolutely. Harry Sutar, yeah, probably there. I mean, I think Milos Degenek is a very solid, reliable defender. Kai Truan, who's on the ball now, I mean, he's looked pretty comfortable in these first couple of Socceroos games. I think, in the strongest starting Socceroos backline, I think Chicardi and Sutar are there. I think Burgess is probably there. Miller at right wing back, and Boss over at left wing back. We are approaching the half an hour mark here, folks. Thanks for joining our live watch along here. Watching this friendly game between Colombia and Australia. Hit the like button, support the channel. We do videos on all things Australian football. So that includes Socceroos and Matildas and A-Leagues. Colombia, space down the right, moving with pace. Good chance for them here, man. Good chance for Colombia. They're in the box. Cross comes in, away by Degenek. And Miller flicks it away. Still on for Colombia. Still on. Good chance. Out to the right. Another cross comes in, and it's away from everyone. Still in play, though, for Colombia as they chase this opening goal. Away by Irvine. You can see just the number of Australian players that got back in the box there. Butter says, CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers currently happening. And as it stands, Curacao will qualify for the World Cup. Says, come on, Rolly Bonavazia. Is he playing for them? Is it Rolly Bonavazia? Wow. Rolly Bonavazia. For those who don't remember, an A-League's legend, you could probably say. Played for Wellington Phoenix, notably, but also spent time at Western Sydney Wanderers for memory and Melbourne Victory. If my memory serves me correctly, but Rolly Bonavazia. Let me see. I'm doing a quick little research here. I can't see Bonavazia in that lineup, but he's from Curacao, isn't he? He represents them. That rings a bell. 711 asks, what injury is Chikati carrying? Surely he's expected back for the Cup. Yeah, I don't think it's a long-term injury. I can't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head, but I think it was an ankle. It was an ankle, but I don't imagine it's a long-term injury, so I think Chikati will be all right. Yeah. Tony Popovich mentioned in a recent press conference about excuse me. He was talking about Geordie Boss. I think he said that Geordie Boss was going to be back in a couple weeks' time as well, 2-3 weeks or something like that. And then, I mean, Harry Suter. Hopefully he's back in the next month or so. I mean, who knows? Next few months, maybe for Harry Suter. And hopefully he can get some game time next year, 2026, in the lead up to the World Cup. And hopefully when it comes to that March window for the Socceroos, which will be crucial, man. Hopefully everyone's fit and firing, man. All right, our wingbacks are really pushing up high. Look at Lewis Miller. Australia have the ball, and the wingbacks are, Lewis Miller especially, getting really high up the park here. Oh, this is a chance. We've got some space in the middle here. If we can just play this correctly. Irvine. Metcalf. Riley McGree really floating around. I mean, he's certainly sort of seemingly playing on that left-hand side, that left number 10 role. That he's got a real free... He's roaming around. Oh, that free kick. Yep. That looked like a foul. And the Socceroos have a free kick in a great position here. It was Jackson Irvine, who's been good, who's been very good, going forward and in defence with some important clearances, and on the ball has won a free kick, edge of the box here. That's definitely a foul. It's definitely a foul. Jackson Irvine muscled off the ball. So, I mean, if Nesri Nkunda was on the field, he'd probably be keen for a shot on goal here. But that looks like Riley McGree that's standing over it now. G'day, Spencer. No worries, man. Good to see you. How have we looked so far? Look, not too much going forward, man. Not too much going forward for Australia, having to do a lot of defending, but it's been okay. Colombia, they've really only had one clear-cut chance. Paluzzo's had to make one save. But McGree has a free kick out wide. Will he go for goal? That looks like he's gone for goal. It's wide. It's out of play. Riley McGree felt like he probably should have just chipped that in for a teammate. He didn't really get the contact that he probably wanted there. McGree. Disappointing end to that set piece opportunity. Interesting question. A-League is the best, asks Lockie, I know you're for the fans, but what are your opinions on the Serie A game in Western Australia? You know, it's interesting. I don't have any like strong opinions on it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's great for when big clubs come out and play those pre-season friendlies out in Australia. We saw AC Milan, a Serie A club, come out to Australia and they played Perth Glory in a pre-season friendly, AC Milan. For me, I think for league fixtures, for competitive fixtures, they should probably be played in their own country. That's just for any league. It's obviously something different in football, but it's something that is seemingly being talked about more and more, about games being played in different countries. And as a shot comes in from Colombia, it fires wide. Luis Diaz. So yeah, man, it's certainly an interesting talking point, that potential Serie A game in Western Australia. G'day, Troy. How you going, man? Says, what have I missed? Not too much. I mean, Colombia have probably been the better of the two sides. They've definitely controlled a lot of the ball. Paul Izzo's had to make one good save, and Luis Diaz was not too far away from scoring just a moment ago there. Socceroos haven't really had much going forward in attack. Ryan McGree with a wayward shot from a free kick earlier. So we've only got like 10 minutes to go until half time, hey? 10 minutes to go for Australia. Look, if we can take this scoreline into the halftime break, I think we'll settle for that 0-0, at least at halftime. O'Neill has been tripped up there. Free kick for Australia in the middle of the park. But hey, so far it's been okay, this performance, hasn't it? it's been all right. I think defensively we've been pretty good, scrambling really well. Colombia haven't necessarily had too many like clear-cut chances. It's not like they're entering the box all that often. So we certainly look a little like much more sort of calm and organized at the back. You just wonder as well, hey? You wonder as well if this game stays 0-0, what sort of substitutions Tony Popovich has in mind. Toure, can he hold the ball? Yes, almost. Oh, almost. Colombia win it back. They go forward. Great chance for Colombia down the right. In the box. Plays in the road. Cross comes in, but again it misses all the Colombian teammates. Luis Diaz gets around Truen. Lays it to the edge of the box. Just look at the numbers that Australia have back, man. And that might be a free kick. Yep. McGree with a little trip. And yeah, it did look like a foul on Rodriguez there. Yep. Bit of a silly foul to give away. Spencer asks, any word on the All-Stars coming back this season? Yeah, no idea. I mean, it'd be cool. It's always fun. But hey, they don't do it every year, do they? We shall see. Troy says, I feel like we were overconfident against Venezuela. Yeah, there was a sense that we were, hey. But we were just not in that game at all, hey. Spencer says, can't imagine we're going into pot 2 after the last game. Luke Hunt says, according to FOTMob, we've had 0 touches in the opponent's opposition box. That would be correct, Luke. Yeah, can't recall a single time that Australia have entered the box. Mo Toure got in behind early, but it was offside. And we had that free kick. Now, what's going on here? This free kick is taking ages to be taken. The Colombian players are pointing at the ground, complaining about something. Maybe about where the free kick's been taken anyway. Rodriguez, the captain of the side here for Colombia, is looking like he might be going for goal. There's 4 players on the wall for the Socceroos. Free kick chance. We're about 25 meters out or so. Rodriguez on goal. That's a pretty comfortable save for Izzo. He dived, but it wasn't... I mean, he was able to stay on his 2 feet in the end there, poor Izzo. So, comfortable save in the end for the Aussie goalkeeper. Louis here with a comment. Louis says, uncomfortable truth, I see other nations in Asia making real progress with their talent development and translating to national team results. Australia doing the same thing, expecting different. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thought. There are certain teams all across Asia who are certainly advancing and are getting better and better, and it's getting more and more competitive, which is great. Which is great to see. Look, I'm really excited about this next generation of Australian players coming through. I think there's been some real promising signs over the last year under Tony Popovich. There's been some great results. But it does feel like we're maybe on the precipice of the next really exciting generation here for the Socceroos, with these young players coming in and doing a great job. I mean, Truen's been comfortable in his first couple of games here for the Socceroos. Patrick Beach was great in the last game. Necessary Irankunda and Toure feels like they could be regulars for the Socceroos for the next decade or so. Jordy Boss is still pretty young. And then, obviously, guys who aren't really involved too much at the moment, but Adrian Segacic and Thomas Waddingham, Hayden Matthews. There's a lot of potential going forward for Australia. So I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic that we'll be all right. Luke says, Miller is also the best rated Aussie player on the pitch, 7.1. Only better is Rodriguez for Colombia at 7.3. Emu says Boss was amazing against USA. Yes, he was. Jordy Boss is Australia's best player. Yeah, I think we've been saying it for maybe the last few months now. Yeah, I remember saying here on this channel, I think it was last year sometime, or maybe it might have been the year before. No, I think it was last year that Jordy Boss was going to be the starting left back for the next decade for Australia. I'm of the opinion that Jordy Boss is Australia's best player. If I had to pick up one individual player, he's just an elite level player, and Jordy Boss is capable of going to the highest level in club football, in my opinion. He's an incredibly well-rounded player too. Like we knew he was good in attack. Like at Melbourne City, when he was coming through in the A-League, fantastic in attack, but defensively, he's improved so much in the last couple of years too. Hey, he's an exceptional player, and we're just lucky to have him. Spencer asks, any update on Boss and his return? Well, Tony Popovich mentioned him in this pre-match press conference for this game yesterday, which is on the Football Australia YouTube. And I think he said something like that Boss was going to be back in 2 or 3 weeks or something like that, which is good to hear. Good to hear. So Jordy Boss missing out this window for the Socceroos, but expected to be back soon, which is good. Jordy Boss at a fantastic club in Feyenoord there in the Netherlands, and hopefully they have a great league season. And Jordy Boss is a seemingly irregular starter there at left back for Feyenoord. And when he's fit, he is most certainly a starting left wing back for Australia. Although we have seen a few other players now play that position. Kyle Rolls playing that role as we speak. So, half-time's not too far away. Stick around to the break. We'll be talking all things Socceroos and everything else that's going on at the moment in Australian football. We've got the Australian Championship quarterfinals this weekend. The A-League Men's is back. The A-League Women's round 4 this week. And Matildas are in action next week as well. So, there's certainly a lot going on in Australian football at the moment. Australia doing a decent job defensively, man. I think I'm happy with how this game has played out up until this point. We need to see a bit more in attack, but I think defensively, this has been a pretty solid performance up to this point for Australia. There is a player for Colombia currently down hurt. Hopefully they're okay. Getting back to their feet now. Where's Duke been, asks Emu. Yeah, he's not really a regular in the squad these days, is he, Mitch Duke? There's certainly a lot of competition for places in those forward positions. I think he's just sort of dropped out of the order of strikers. He's sort of dropped down a little bit. I mean, we've seen for this recent window, it's a shame they had to pull out due to injury. They're not involved due to injury, but Denny Urich and Nick D'Agostino were the two other strikers alongside Moture who were selected. And they were obviously picked ahead of Mitch Duke, who, as far as we're aware, is currently injury-free. No Mitch Duke for this window. Mitch Duke was in that last window, though. So, yeah, it's Mitch Duke. It certainly feels like his spot for the World Cup is a little bit up in the air at the moment. Spencer has a hot take. Says Goodwin and Beach won't be picked for the World Cup. Hey, I could see it happening, man. I could see it happening. Oh, is there a chance here? Is there a chance for Australia? Down the left. Almost broke down the left. Irvine has it. Miller on the right. Here come the Socceroos. Lewis Miller trying to drive in field. Oh, that's a free kick, surely. Yep. Free kick. Lewis Miller clearly upended. And as we head into first half stoppage time, Socceroos have a free kick in an even better position now compared to the one we had earlier in the half. But I tell you what, that should be a yellow card. Just the diving challenge on Lewis Miller. That is a dangerous challenge on Lewis Miller. His right ankle could have been injured in that challenge there, but it's a free kick. So Riley McGree had a free kick from a similar range, went for goal. It was well wide. But Riley McGree is a little bit more central. This is a bit more central for McGree. So back yourself, Riley. Back from injury. This is a great chance. The left foot of Riley McGree. The man who scored the greatest ever A-Leagues goal. Here comes McGree. Direct on goal. Oh, great save. Wow, so close. Riley McGree has forced a spectacular save out of Colombia's goalkeeper. Socceroos so close to taking the lead. What a shot. That required a great save. Solid shot indeed, Emu, wasn't it? Dude, how did he beat the wall? We needed like a reverse angle or something. Riley McGree, so close to scoring a stunner. And it's half time. That's half time, folks. So it's Colombia 0, Australia 0. And I tell you what, as a Socceroos fan, I'm not too disappointed with what we're seeing. I think there's certainly looking a lot better. Certainly looking... Now, what's happening here? What's happening here? There's a bit going on as staff members of both teams are walking to the tunnel. I'm not sure what was going on there. Anyway, it looked like there might have been something going on. There were some words being exchanged between the two sides. But it's halftime in this friendly game. It's Colombia 0, Australia 0. Riley McGree with the best chance of the half there for Australia. Direct on goal from that free kick. AG, thanks for the comment, man. Says, thanks for commentating this game. You are a champion for broadcasting this. For those who are not subscribed to Paramount. Cheers, AG. And glad that our live stream can bring you some live updates of this game. So it's 0-0. What do you guys make of that first half? My assessment, I'm okay with how things are tracking. I think defensively we've been good. I think we've been scrambling at the back pretty well. And there's been some glimpses going forward, not too much. But looking at the stats, I'm looking at the stats from FOTMob. Okay, possession, a little bit more even than I probably thought it was. 54% to Colombia, just 46% for Australia. I felt like Colombia had a bit more, but we certainly did have some good spells of possession in that first half. Colombia have had 5 shots with 3 on target. Paul Izzo did have to make a good save in that first half. According to FOTMob Australia, just the 1 shot, 1 on target, but I would classify McGree's first free kick as a shot as well. So 2 shots for the Socceroos, if you want to look at it that way, both coming from McGree free kicks. 1 on target, 1 off target. But hey, the shots from Australia coming from set pieces. Yeah. All right, let's jump to the live chat. If you guys have any questions or comments, join the conversation here. Luke asks, do you think the 5-2-3 is our best formation? 4-2-3-1 might be a better formation with the players we have, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I do like the defensive solidity, the defensive security that playing with the back 5 brings. And I think, look, it's a formation that Tony Popovich did play at Perth Glory, and Perth Glory won the premiership that year. So a 4-2-3-1 is a formation that Popper has played too, though. So it would be cool. It'd be fun to see this Socceroos side play a 4-2-3-1, and that allows you to maybe play an extra attacking player, an extra midfielder. But I think heading into the World Cup, I mean, just thinking about the performances recently against like Japan, against Saudi Arabia, even against Canada, like against good opponents who are good in attack, the setting up in that back 5 has really helped us. It's earned us points. It's earned us results, I should say. So I think heading into the World Cup, it might be a situation, yeah, where I think we will play this formation, this back 5. And it could really help us. It could really work to our advantage in some tough games against some difficult opponents. It might be a similar situation to what we're seeing here in this World Cup. Colombia, top team here, Colombia. Got some fantastic players. Rodriguez, Luis Diaz has had a shot that just sailed wide for Colombia as well. I mean, we're coming up against a high-quality opponent here. Who knows? We could be playing Colombia in the World Cup next year as well. Hey. Pugsy says, my missus is Colombian and I'm Australian. There you go. There you go. There you go. Wowee. Emu says, I hope Irvine does something good. Hey, I think he has done some good stuff. He made a great clearance earlier on. He's been getting back in defense and helping going forward. And that's what you expect from Jackson Irvine. He's a hard-working midfield player. Real box-to-box midfielder. O'Keys in the chat says, hey, mate, love listening to this while I do my FIFA squad battle games. As a West United fan, rip. I would love to see Noah Botic slowly make his way into the side. Yeah, it was great to see Botic get that call up a few months ago for the New Zealand games, hey, but unable to make a breakthrough into either of those games, Noah Botic. So, if he maintains his form in Austria, he's scored a few goals so far this season, which is great for him. Noah Botic could see himself in the Socceroos squad maybe next year at some point. So I'm sure he's certainly on the radar for Popper. But appreciate you tuning in, mate. And I, as you say there, West United fan rip. I mean, of course, they're in hibernation, so they might come back to life. They might resurrect. And I hope they do. We hope West United return, man. Obviously, I really feel for that club and the fans and the staff and the players and everyone at West United for what they went through in those last few months. The uncertainty surrounding the club and the decision to pull out of this A-League season. It's been a real big shake-up in Australian football, so hopefully West United do recover. G'day, Christopher. Says, can't watch at work. One shot on target? Yes, indeed. Yes. Yeah, not too much going forward for Australia. I think defensively we've been good. The Socceroos have been all right at the back. Been working really hard to stay organised at the back. And so far we've done a good job of that. But yeah, that one shot on target for the Socceroos coming from that free kick for Riley McGree. So from open play, Australia need a little bit more quality going forward. We're missing that at the moment. So hey, this might be a situation where someone like Nestori Irankunda has to enter the game. Maybe Martin Boyle as well. Let's talk about some of those substitutes as well. Question for you guys. Who would you like to see enter the game in the second half for Australia? On the bench for the Socceroos. Obviously got the backup goalkeepers there, Matty Ryan and Patrick Beach. Backup defenders on the bench. Callum Elders there. James Overy could make his debut. Jack Ardale also on the bench. Our midfield options on the sidelines, Max Ballard, Cammy Devlin, and Paul Ocon-Engsler. I mean, I just want to talk about Cammy Devlin for a moment as well. I mean, Devlin, he's been in such good form for Hearts in Scotland. We're currently top of the table there in Scotland. He's playing regularly for Hearts over there. And it felt like surely this is the chance for Devlin to make his break back into the Socceroos starting side, or at least just feature on the field. But yeah, in the last few games, he's still yet to feature Cammy Devlin, so maybe he features off the bench in this game. Paul Ocon-Engsler also is there. He's also there as a midfield option. But our attacking options here, we've got four options in attack here for the Socceroos. Irankunda, Boyle, Goodwin, and Al Hassan Toure. Obviously, you've got Goodwin who can even play in that left wing-back role as well. But yeah, interesting options there in attack. I mean, I would like to see, I think Irankunda would be a good move to bring him on at some point in the second half. I think just the unpredictability that he brings and his fearlessness in taking on defenders. I think we're missing that a little bit right now. Adstar would like to see Nestori, Devlin, and Boyle. Yeah, look, I wouldn't mind seeing Martin Boyle as well. We know he's great in a one-on-one situation. Luke asks, out of all the teams that have qualified, what would be your dream group for Australia? Canada, Australia, Scotland, New Zealand would be fun, says Luke. Good question, man. Let me pull it up. We've obviously had a number of a number of nations recently qualifying for the World Cup next year. A lot of qualifiers around the world starting to wrap up. A lot of teams in Europe have qualified. So I'm pulling it up now. Feel free to join the conversation as well in the live chat. Who would you like to see Australia play in the World Cup? So I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page for the World Cup next year. Some really interesting nations. Hey, I mean, it's difficult to say. It'd be cool. It'd be cool for the Socceroos to come up. I mean, we're obviously going to get someone, obviously at least one really high quality nation from pot one. I'm hoping it's not France again, just because we've had them in the last couple World Cups. France, fantastic footballing nation, but we've had them in the last couple World Cups, so someone different would be good. Maybe England. That'd be an interesting test. Yeah, man, it's hard to say. Daniel says, I'd love to play England. Yeah, I feel like that would be interesting. The Socceroos did take on England in a friendly match a couple of years ago now. But yeah, England have had a great run in qualifying. Had a perfect run in qualifying. But I am excited, of course, as we all are, excited for the World Cup next year. Expanded format, a little bit different, more teams involved. But hey, I'm keen to see how it plays out. But yeah, I think going along with that, like I'm happy that for the Socceroos we've been playing, a few different sort of opponents from all across the world. We've recently taken on New Zealand, USA, and Canada from North America. You got Venezuela and Colombia from South America. And it'll be interesting to see what opponents we can line up for the games in March for that next international window. So whether we maybe look at some opponents from Europe, that could be interesting. It's been some time now since we've played opponents from Europe. Obviously, that window will be so crucial for Australia as well. You would hope at that point we would have our strongest squad involved in those games in that crucial international window. And the World Cup will come around quickly, man. It will come around quick. The second half is just around the corner, folks. It's 0-0 between Colombia and Australia. 7-Eleven says, I would love either England or Belgium in the World Cup. Yeah, that's right, Daniel. Yeah, Graham Arnold, who's currently the head coach of the Iraq national team there, and they got victory overnight, which I saw. It's great for Graham Arnold, former Socceroos boss, as they continue their qualifying campaign. But that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be funny for Graham Arnold? Wouldn't that be bizarre if you're Graham Arnold, and if we happen to get... Actually, can we even get Iraq in the World Cup? Because we're both from the AFC. But that would be weird if we played each other. Graham Arnold coming up against obviously his home nation of Australia, coaching another nation. And obviously Graham Arnold was in charge of Australia at that last World Cup. Tony Popovich now in charge of the Socceroos, and again, despite the last couple defeats, he's done a fantastic job. Like, after that Venezuela loss, there were a lot of comments on social media in regards to Australia and the way we're playing, and Tony Popovich as head coach. And look, the performance from Venezuela was not great at all. It was we clearly needed to be better. But I'm certainly not in a rush to suggest that Tony Popovich should be replaced or anything like that. I think I'm happy for Popper to be in charge of the World Cup next year and for the foreseeable future after that as well. I think Tony Popovich is the right man to lead this side at this current moment in time. Yes, the loss against Venezuela was disappointing, but you just got to look at the last year and how this side went with Popper leading the side. And again, we cannot forget those results, those crucial matches in World Cup qualifying against Japan, against Saudi Arabia, which are two opponents that we have struggled against in the past. and we defeated both. Absolutely huge. And for those 2 games alone, I think Popper sort of like booked his, regardless of what was going to happen in these friendlies, I think Popper's, secured his spot for at least the next year or so. Will we see any changes at halftime? We did see one big change at halftime in the Venezuela game. Saw Callum Elder come on to replace Craig Goodwin. I don't think we'll see a change in this game at halftime. Ali in the chat asks, why is Matty Ryan on the bench? Is he becoming the second choice? It's an interesting talking point. Hey, I think he might be. I think Matty Ryan might be becoming the second choice. We saw in the last game against Venezuela, Patrick Beach, who's been in great form for Melbourne City, he got the start for the Socceroos and made some great saves. Patrick Beach is really that next generation of goalkeepers coming through. But this is a game where we're seeing Socceroos here play a real full-strength 11. Irvine coming in, McGree coming in, Burgess there as well. It's a strong team that we've got. So you'd probably expect in a stronger starting 11 for the Socceroos that Matty Ryan would be there, but Paul Izzo is starting this game. So yeah, I feel like Paul Izzo, especially after his great performances against New Zealand and against Canada, for Australia. Yeah, man. I think Paul Izzo may well be the number 1 for Australia now, which is huge. Luke asks, Popovich is contracted to just before the Asian Cup, isn't he? Yeah, I can't recall off the top of my head. I feel like he's contracted for the Asian Cup. I don't know about after that. But yeah. So, Colombia and Australia returning to the field for the second half as we speak. Thanks for joining us for this live watch-along, folks. Whether you're catching this game and rocking the multi-screen setup, or whether we've had a few folks tuning in, can't watch the game, or tuning in from work, or doing other activities. Thanks for joining us, and I'm glad that the stream can provide you a bit of a live update in regards to what's happening in this match. We talk all things Aussie football here on Oz Watch Football with me, Lockie. So if you're keen to keep up to date to more Socceroos stuff, A-League stuff, all that good stuff, make sure you're subscribed. You can also hit the like button, support the channel, and you can also consider sending in a super chat. Thanks. Very big thanks to Beta earlier on for sending in a kind super chat. But just appreciate you guys being here, hanging out. We're all about creating a community of like-minded football fans. And this second half is getting underway in New York City. New York City, where Aidan O'Neill, Socceroos midfielder, plays his club football. And I believe they're in action still in the MLS playoffs. So Aidan O'Neill with a chance to win silverware, with a chance to win a trophy in the MLS with New York City FC. So, second half is underway, folks. Do we have any changes? My eyes are scanning across the field of play, and I don't see any changes. Changes. But we may well see some subs throughout the second half, of course. Keep an eye on the likes of maybe Iran Kunda, maybe Boyle, maybe Al Hassan Toure. Could we see a couple of the Toure brothers playing together? Mo Toure, Al Hassan Toure. So, we were defensively strong and well organised in the first half. Can we maintain that defensive solidity in the second period? Colombia are on the front foot early on in the second half. Edge of the box. Look at the players that Australia has back, though, man. We've got the numbers back. So this has been much better. Like, it was disappointing that goal we conceded against Venezuela with the ball over the top down Australia's left-hand side. Craig Goodwin maybe caught out of position. But so far, like, Colombia are having a bit of a difficult time of actually getting in behind Australia. Kai Troon with the clearance there. So, Colombia, like, this... It feels like the Venezuela game. It was a really, like, comfortable match for Venezuela, hey? And they got the goal in the first half, and it was Easy going from there for Venezuela. But it feels like Colombia are really having to work here. Just to, I mean, they're having a lot of the ball and controlling this game well and truly, but I mean, it's not like they're creating clear-cut chances every couple minutes. Paul Izzo did have to make a good save in the first half. They have had a few shots on target. One from a free kick from Rodriguez, which was a pretty comfortable save from Izzo. So, like, honestly, at this rate, this has been a better performance, I think, compared to the Venezuela game. But, hey, maybe anything would have been a better performance. I mean, that Venezuela game for the Socceroos was probably our worst performance under Tony Popovich so far. Yeah. G'day, Jeffrey, who says, a bit late, I was having lunch. Glad we're not losing at least. Yep. Yeah, look, and I would take a draw. If we can hold it, look, if we can hold them to a 0-0, that's all right, man. Against a good Colombia side. Luke says, keeping an eye on the CONCACAF qualifiers too. Love it. Love it. Any big results in those games, Luke? Keep us up to date. No substitutions as of yet for Australia. Down the right, Colombia looking to get in behind. Cross comes in for Colombia. Great chance. It comes in again. High ball. Away by Burgess. Then rolls. And free kick Australia has, again, really good defensive work there. Great organisation. It was interesting there. Moture, I mean, we're doing so much defending there. Moture was back, like, almost on the edge of the box for Australia. And our defensive half winning possession of the ball. That just sort of sums it up. We've got everyone behind the ball. AG says, agreed, Popper gets results. Not pretty football, but effective. AG says these American sides, particularly South American sides, accurately view him as a defensive manager. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Definitely a defensive approach by Tony Popovich. So, long throw opportunity here for Australia. Lewis Miller, who loves to send in a long throw. And we've got some defenders, some tall players who have come up from the back. Burgess is in the box. Irvine's there as well. Throw comes in. It's in a dangerous area. Toure. Oh! Mo Toure, just wide. In fact, well wide. He went for the spectacular effort. I mean, we saw a fantastic, we saw an absolutely fantastic bicycle kick in European qualifiers overnight. Scott McTominay for Scotland. Mo Toure. Not quite a bicycle kick, but went for the overhead. Unable to get it on target, but that's another shot for Australia. Here we go. We've got the ball again in a good position. Jeffrey, no worries. Always happy for any questions. Are you going to watch the Ashes? I won't be. I don't have too much interest personally in other codes aside from the round ball game. I will occasionally watch a bit of rugby league or Australian rules football. Tennis. I do enjoy tennis as well, but I certainly spend a majority of my time when watching sports. It is usually football, the beautiful game, the world game. Luke says, I think the only way Popovich isn't coach for the Asian Cup is if we go pointless in our World Cup group. I mean, that would be very disappointing. Yeah. So, free kick coming up for Colombia. Out wide, Rodriguez is going to curl this one in with a left foot delivery, we expect. Rodriguez, captain for Colombia. McGree's in the wall. Just one player in the wall. He might go for goal here. He might go for goal. Plenty of plays to aim for. That's definitely a cross. Great ball too. Socceroos get it clear. Socceroos get it clear. But that was dangerous. That was really dangerous at the back for the Aussies because that was a tantalizing delivery from a world-class player in Rodriguez. Former Real Madrid player. Butter, who's giving us an update on the New Zealand game. They're taking on Ecuador. 1-0 to Ecuador from Butter in the live chat. Thanks for the update, man. Of course, we're always keen to see how our neighbours there, New Zealand, go. And they are taking on a South American opponent as well. In Ecuador. Yeah. 50th minute in that game as well. That game running basically at the same time as the Socceroos game. New Zealand trailing. Not a lot of possession for New Zealand in that game. Looking at FOTMob, 27% possession for New Zealand. With just one shot on target. And New Zealand now trail against Ecuador. As Colombia have now won a free kick. Fair way out from goal. At least 30 metres out from goal, you'd probably reckon. Alrighty. So, Colombia have had a couple set pieces now in the second half. Rodriguez, the set piece specialist for Colombia. He's going to swing this one in towards the far post. Good defensive header again. Was that Deganek that time? This has been a really gutsy defensive performance from the Socceroos, reminiscent of what we have seen over the past year or so with Tony Popovic. Cheaply given away by O'Neill. Colombia win it back. Cross comes in. And I think that's kept in play. It is. But that was an uncharacteristic giveaway from Aidan O'Neill, who usually is a reliable distributor of the ball. Busy times in Australian football, folks. Well, this is the final game of the calendar year for the Socceroos. Midfield are in action next week. A couple games against New Zealand as they continue preparations for the Women's Asian Cup next year. A-League Men's back in action this weekend. A-League Women's continues. And, of course, the quarterfinals for the Australian Championship. Have you guys been keeping up to date with the Championship? Let us know. Quarterfinals on this weekend with some intriguing matchups. So there's a lot to enjoy if you're a football fan in Australia, that's for sure. Tell you what, as we get closer to the hour mark, keep an eye on the sideline. I think we could see some subs soon. 55 minutes played, still 0-0. Luis Diaz off the left for Colombia. Hasn't been super involved in this game, Diaz. He's looked dangerous, and he had that one good shot in the first half. It did just go wide, but we know with these world-class players, man, I mean, if they get just a glimpse of an opportunity, they are capable of taking it. So the Socceroos are being really well disciplined in this game. Organisation has been very good. I think Jackson Irvine has maybe been one of Australia's best players on the field. Colombia, bit of space now on the right, though. Good block by McGree, I think. No, rolls. You can definitely see... Oh, here's a chance. McGree's released Toure. Colombian defenders get back. And Toure, just maybe didn't need to go for the pass there. It looked like... I mean, he got it on the halfway line, so it was a fair way to run. But he was almost away there, Toure, but the defenders caught up quickly. As Luis Diaz is... Oh, great defending. Great defending. Well, end-to-end action for a moment there. Luis Diaz very nearly with an effort on target, but it might have been Deganek again. Because he was cutting inside, outside. Luis Diaz, Truin, Deganek. Might have been Truin with a block. Tell you what, man. Kai Truin. 2 consecutive starts here for the Socceroos. He's been brilliant. Rodriguez, his corner, headed away. Long range efforts. Socceroos just trying to get it clear. The offside flag's gone up, and we're playing on. We're playing on here. Ah, McGree! Giving it away. We're almost away. That's the only thing that's letting us down. It's just, when we get forward, just the decision-making, just that final pass, just not quite there. We might need... It feels like we just need something different in attack. I think one of these number 10s might change out. Maybe even Toure. But I think you're looking at maybe Martin Boyle. It looks like there might be a sub getting ready as we speak, actually, for Australia. But Martin Boyle, Aaron Kunda, even Al Hassan Toure. I think we might see a change in attack very shortly, folks. Jeffrey a moment ago said, I really want to see Devlin. Unfortunately, Popovich doesn't at the moment. It'd be great. I think he would be, yeah, considering the amount of defending we're doing, Devlin is a great defensive midfielder. I think it'd be good to get him on, give him some game time. Agree. Has it for Australia? Not many players forward. Toure's gone down. Toure's gone down here. This is a concern for Australia. Toure's gone down and he's injured. Hopefully there's nothing serious. He's sitting up now, Toure, and doesn't look happy. He's complaining to the referee. But hey, the last thing we want is another injury, of course. Luke in the live chat says, all CONCACAF games with less than 10 minutes to go. Current qualifiers are Panama and Haiti for the second time, and Curacao for the first time. There you go. Thanks for that update, Luke. Appreciate it, mate. A lot going on right now in world football. So it's showing us that replay of that Toure incident. Yeah, he was just a little tangle there with Sanchez, I think. So, we are getting some subs, I think, for Australia. Yeah. Max Ballard is coming on, and he's replacing Jackson Irvine, and I imagine that was a planned substitution. Jackson Irvine only recently returning to sort of, getting regular minutes, I guess you can say. Jackson Irvine, he was very good. I thought he was very, very good. Showing his quality. He's got a fantastic engine. Just such a hard worker. And Max Ballard is on. Callum Elder's on. Callum Elder's also just come on to replace Kai Rolls at left wing back. So double change for Australia. But no changes in attack, interestingly enough. So, as we cross the hour mark of this game now, we do just have our first changes. So Elder on at left back, replacing Rolls. Ballard is on to replace Irvine in midfielders. Colombia, great chance for them. Edge of the box. Shot comes in. Great save. Corner, surely. I mean, I think it's a corner. I don't think the referee's convinced. Yep, it's been awarded a corner, and that means it was an unbelievable save, yet again from Paul Izzo. Wow. I want to see this replay, man. Great save. Dangerous play there by Colombia. Edge of the box. The shot was fizzed in. I don't even know if that got a touch. If it was a very, very sort of minor touch. Not much contact on the ball. It was sailing over the goal there from Izzo, but might have been just enough to deflect it wayward. Fantastic from the Aussie goalkeeper. Luke asks, who got the armband off of Irvine? Deganek is the choice, surely. Good question, man. Keep an eye on it. Great question. I'm glancing around the Aussie players right now. I don't know if Deganek is wearing the armband. If you guys spot who's wearing the captain's armband for Australia, let us know in the live chat. It might be Deganek. I'm glancing around and I don't think I can see the armband anywhere. It might even be Burgess. It's not quite clear. Anyway, we'll see. Cross comes in for Colombia. And it sails wide. They've had a few crosses in this game, Colombia, that have just missed the opponent. Appreciate you guys joining us for this live watch along. We are into the final half an hour of this international friendly game. Colombia 0, Australia 0. Hit that like button. Support the channel. You can also consider sending in a super chat. Paul Izzo still maintaining this clean sheet. He's only been called into action a few times. Can Australia hold on from here? And can Australia, two-part question, folks, can Australia find a way into this game to maybe snatch a lead? Truan is under pressure here at the back. Guy Truan, he's muscled off it. He's been very good, but maybe could have done a little bit better in that instance. He ran out of room there. Colombia have been very, very good with the way they're pressing, hey? Putting us under pressure. Making it pretty nervous. Pretty nervy for us at the back, hey? Good claim by Izzo, who has collided with Deganek as he claimed that ball. Hopefully they're right. Well, can confirm Deganek is now wearing the captain's armband after Irvine went off. Paul Izzo. Good claim from that cross. So how long until we see some attacking substitutions for Australia? Elder and Ballard are on. Don't forget Alhassan Toure, Martin Boyle, Nesteri Iran Kunda, Craig Goodwin. Some of our attacking options are on the substitute bench. Oh, this is well done by Australia to get it forward. Down the left, Elder's got it. And has he kept it in play? He has. It's a throw-in for Australia. In a good position. McGree just losing it. Well done, O'Neill, to win it back, though. Metcalf, Miller. Well, it's the same old story in this game where the wayward passes are letting us down. It's been a few occasions now for the Socceroos where we get into a good area and the pass goes astray. On that occasion, it was Metcalf who just maybe put a little bit too much power on that delivery towards Miller. Oh, Australia won at Heart the Park. Let's see if we can get it right this time around. Miller has it again on the right. Come on, boys. Come on, Aussie. Cheap pass. Weak pass there by Ballard. Colombia on the counter. We've got numbers back. Cross comes in and no one's there. Oh, geez. That's a clearance that's just gone straight up into the air by Truan. Gets his second effort away. Yeah, man. We cannot afford these cheap giveaways. Miller. Driving forward. Miller's been good. Lewis Miller's been good. Bit of space for Metcalf here. Australia driving forward. Elder's gotten up from left wing back. Ballard. Truan. Socceroos are in a decent position here. And Colombia have got numbers back. You can see they're defending in sort of a back five. G'day, Oliver. Asking how have we been so far. Look, I think defensively we've been all right. I think we've been all right defensively. In attack, just lacking a little bit of quality. Haven't had too much going forward, but I think considering the opponent, man, the quality that Colombia have, I think it's been all right. I think it's been okay. Adstar sums it up as well. Adstar says good in defense and poor in attack. Yeah. We haven't really had the opportunity to show our quality in attack. That's the problem. We've barely had a look at goal. McGree had a couple free kicks in the first half. Aside from that, not much going on for the Socceroos. Long ball from Colombia that time. Easily through to Izzo. But it feels like Australia, just in the last few minutes, starting to have a bit more of the ball here. Starting to control things just a little bit more. Watchalong under pressure again at the back. Lewis Miller. Look at the way Colombia just box us in, man. Toure. Good hold-up play. Oh, dude. It's again. Oh, gosh. It's like getting frustrating now. We're getting into like... It feels like there's a few occasions where we could actually break away. We could get in behind and break away, but the passes are just not quite right. And just that occasion there, Mo Toure that time. What seemed like a pretty simple layoff to a teammate seemingly just went astray. Oliver says, hopefully we get something out of the game. I'm very scared of Luis Diaz. Well, credit to Australia's defence. We've done a good job of keeping Luis Diaz pretty quiet in this game. He did have a good shot in the first half, but hasn't had too much influence on this match up to this point. 68 minutes played. It's 0-0. Colombia are preparing a couple subs on the sideline as we speak. Australia can still make a few more changes. Again, like our shape defensively, like what we're seeing now, and has been a common theme in this game. Colombia having the ball around that halfway line, and the Socceroos, like the defensive shape as Colombia sent it out of play. The defensive shape here from Australia has been really, really good. The organisation has been I almost want to say nearly perfect, honestly. It's just a matter of how can we... It feels like this has been the case the whole time with Tony Popovic. We don't really create that many chances. This Tony Popovic Socceroos side. We don't really create enough going forward. Probably our best attacking game was game 2 against New Zealand in Auckland a few months back, where we scored a few goals. That was probably our best attacking game. Aside from that, man, I mean, it's just a regular thing now with the Tony Popovic Socceroos. They're not the most exciting games in regards to like attacking opportunities. I'm going to ask my phone what the temperature is at where this game's being played right now in New York City. What's the temperature in New York City? 5 degrees. That's Celsius, folks. 5 degrees Celsius. Goodness me, that's chilly. It's a lot warmer right now on the east coast of Australia, I can tell you that much. Thanks, guys, for tuning in wherever you are tuning in from. Folks across Australia. Red Butter tuning in from New Zealand. Wherever you are from around the world. Thanks for joining our live stream. Talking all things Australian football here on Oz Watch Football. Socceroos. Final games for the year. Matildas are in action next week. A-Leagues this weekend. Australian Championship quarterfinals as well this weekend. There's a lot going on. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you guys being here to hang out. We are into the final 20 minutes of this game. Hasn't been too many stoppages up to this point. Colombia trying to find this breakthrough goal. Socceroos working so hard defensively to maintain their organisation and their shape. Long range shot from Colombia. Sails well wide of the goal. Luke, thanks for that update in the live chat, mate. Says official, says Curacao, Haiti, and Panama qualify for the 2026 World Cup. Awesome. Congrats to those nations, man. And Luke, as you said earlier, it's Curaçao's first time at the World Cup, right? G'day, Ronaldo74512 in the live chat. Says, I'm Australian and half Colombian. There you go. Welcome to the live chat, mate. Jeffrey says New Zealand should join Asia with us. I feel for Oceania. I feel like, it's obviously Australia were part of Oceania a couple decades ago. We are back on the defense. Colombia having a lot of possession. Patient build-up play. Australia, very, very well organized. Oh, there might be a chance. No, well done, Australia. Body's in the way. If we could take a scoreless draw against Colombia, that's not a bad result. Is it? How would you guys feel if this game ends 0-0? From an Australian point of view, how would you feel if this game ended 0-0? I mean, you could look at it in a couple different ways. You could be positive about it and be like, we kept a top nation like Colombia scoreless. Oh no, this is a huge decision. Huge chance for Colombia. A player's gone down. I think it's a penalty. Yep. Yeah, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. Well, Colombia have an opportunity now to finally make a breakthrough. Colombia have just been awarded a penalty. Oh no, indeed, Emu. Oh no, indeed. Well, the Socceroos players are in conversations with the referee. The decision's been made. Callum Elder on the replay, you can see there pulling down a Colombian player by the looks of things. The replays, I mean, there's contact. There's seemingly contact. Oliver says a bit late for the call. Says it's a pen though. I reckon the referee was letting it play on just because it looked like Colombia were about to score. So I think the ref was waiting to see if they were going to score. So, hey, look, based off those replays, it looked like a penalty, but this is going to be really heartbreaking for the Socceroos. Rodriguez with a chance from the penalty spots. Paul Izzo has made some huge saves in his career. We remember an incredible penalty shootout in the Melbourne Derby A-League elimination final last year. But after 75 minutes, a huge opportunity here for Colombia to finally make the breakthrough. It's Rodriguez up against Izzo. Paul Izzo, the man who was put in a truly remarkable performance against Canada last month. Paul Izzo, who is seemingly taken over as the Socceroos' #1 goalkeeper ahead of Matty Ryan. Coming up against an incredible player here in Rodriguez. Bit of a delay here for the penalty, but finally now it's going to be taken. Rodriguez, it's a goal. It's a comfortable penalty. Paul Izzo went the wrong way, and Colombia lead 1-0. And just as we were having conversations a moment ago about how a draw would probably be a positive result for Australia, the Socceroos are facing the prospect of 3 consecutive defeats. Rodriguez scores from the penalty spots. It was a fantastic penalty. It was going to be hard to save, even if he did guess the right way. Wowee. Wowee. Luke says we needed Redmayne. Yes, yeah, maybe in that instance. So, 76th minute. James Rodriguez. Finally, Colombia. I mean, after so much working to try and find that opening goal, they do get it in the end. So, this is a really interesting moment here for Australia. The Socceroos are preparing a triple change, folks. There are 3 players entering the field. By the looks of things on the sideline, Tony Popovic isn't happy about something. Tony Popovic is having some words with the assistant referee as we speak. And he looks pretty passionate. So, triple change. Ocon Engsler, Iran Kunda, Boyle, on. The yellow card has just been shown to someone. Bit of chaos at the moment. Who knows what's going on anyway. We are back underway in this game. So the Socceroos, we just need this is a simulation of what it could be like in the World Cup, where we are trailing against a good, high-quality nation. So how do we respond? How do we respond being in this position now? How do we bounce back? We haven't had much going forward in attacking this game, but right now, we just need to show a little bit of fight, a little bit of spirit. Show the Socceroos fans that we are capable of coming back and matching these sides, these high-quality opponents. So, the changes have been made, folks. Here's the updated lineup. Boyle's on the left, replacing McGree. McGree was all right tonight. Iran Kunda is on, replacing Metcalf on that right-hand side by the looks of things. Paul Ocon-Engsler was also the other player that came on. He replaced Aidan O'Neill in the centre of the park. As AG, I mean, perfect timing. AG also said time to bring in Nestory. Luke asking the question, did Popper get that yellow? I'm not sure. We'll see. But yet, it looked like you could see Tony Popper on the sidelines. He looked like he was having a pretty passionate conversation with one of the officials. Not sure what it was about. I don't know if there could be many complaints in regards to the penalty decision. It looked like a foul to me, so who knows. Anyway, Colombia trying to get forward again. Australia cut it off, and Iran Kunda trying to get something happening. He loses it. The Socceroos have 10 minutes left to get back in this game. Chance for Colombia. Nice footwork, and Deganek will send it behind for a corner. Oh boy. So, this is now, yeah, a really interesting sort of predicament. Like, again, I was feeling all right. I was trying to stay positive before that goal. And, you know, I think a scoreless draw would have been all right. To maintain the clean sheet, it would have been okay. But that's football for you, folks. One little moment, the one little moment of contact in the box there. Callum Elder, unfortunately, committing the foul. AG, you are correct, mate. It says a lot can happen in 10 minutes. Football's a crazy game and anything can happen. But the worrying thing is that there hasn't been enough evidence that Australia could come back in this game, that just considering that we've really struggled to create anything going forward in attack. Colombia have just made another double change to inject some fresh legs. Cross comes in for Colombia. Away by Truan, I think. Iran Kunda trying to get on the end of it. Can't do so. The Socceroos, the wrong end of the pitch, still having to do a lot of defending here. And again, we are facing the prospect of 3 consecutive defeats, which is going to be the big headline. If this result stays the way it is, 3 consecutive defeats. The Socceroos had such a good run of form earlier this year. All those wins. And it's important that we maintain some great form heading into the World Cup, but the Socceroos are now well and truly taking a stumble. A big stumble. And with not many games to go before the World Cup next year, can't really afford to take a stumble in form. Lewis Miller's gone down holding his face. Bit of a physical altercation, perhaps. Don't know if there was much in it, but Lewis Miller's gone down. FC Oz says, come on, score Australia. It ain't that hard. Yeah, man. If only it was that simple. We haven't given ourselves enough opportunities to get into this game. Ultimately, again, it's just another match where Australia have just been lackluster in attack. And again, like to what I was saying earlier, that second game against New Zealand a few months ago, that was really the only real game where we looked threatening in attack in maybe the past year. So what we can say now, the World Cup next year, the Socceroos won't be scoring many goals at this rate. It looks like Australia's made another change. I don't know when that happened, but Al Hassan Touré's on the field, folks. Al Hassan Touré, I think, has replaced his brother up top. What a moment it would be if Al Hassan Touré could get us back into this game. So Mo Touré worked really hard in this match to try and create some opportunities. Unfortunately, not his day, but Al Hassan Touré is also on, so that attacking front three has been changed out, but maybe too little too late. Ballard has it in midfield. I mean, look how quick Colombia are just to close us down. Like, Ballard won it, and then he was immediately closed down there. Colombia still pressing even when Australia have it at the back. Lewis Miller, and the poor giveaway there as well. The wayward passes have really let us down today when going forward. The minutes ticking by, but it's looking highly unlikely that the Socceroos are going to get anything out of this game. Colombia, in all fairness, have been pretty comfortable. While they did have to really work to sort of create their opportunities, and Paul Izzo was called into action a few times. Colombia certainly aren't sitting back to defend their lead, man. They're looking to go for more. They are continuing to attack. And that means Australia are still on the back foot. Ballard gets it to Boyle, and that's a free kick. Yellow card's coming out. Martin Boyle upended in the defensive half. Ronaldo 74512 says Aziz Beich needs to be in the World Cup squad. It's an interesting one. I mean, Aziz Beich, I think he probably will be there just with his experience. Yeah, man, if he's injury free, if he has another good campaign for Melbourne City, he probably could well be there once again. Hasn't featured recently though. "86 minutes of football played in New York City, where Colombia have got a 1-goal lead here against the Socceroos. And again, like, it's pretty remarkable. Like, you would, looking at the way the game's being played right now, you would think Australia are the ones with the lead, with the way Australia's sitting back and defending. But Colombia are just knocking the ball around comfortably. In Australia, there's no way we're not even looking close to creating an opportunity on goal. So, I mean, we were talking about it earlier about like the formation that Socceroos playing, and I was still backing the sort of the back five, the 5-2-3, if you want to call it that. But in a situation like this, with the style of play that we're playing, there's no way of getting back into this game. It has to change. Ballard's been fouled there. That was a bad tackle. Free kick to Socceroos around that halfway line. So this is a really big moment for Tony Popovic. With a World Cup around the corner, and with this Socceroos side who is seemingly really struggling to score goals and create chances, we need to see some advancements in regards to how is this Socceroos team going to win football games. Yes, you can, stay well organized defensively, maintain that discipline, and we have been good today defensively overall. But in football, the little things, can pop up. Like in this game, a little penalty opportunity, foul in the box. Colombia take the lead. I mean, in a World Cup, it's fine margins, especially in the group stage. Those little things make a big difference, obviously. But this is a situation where the Socceroos need to get back into the game, and this shape that we're playing right now, this style of play, it's not going to get us back into the game. Paul Luzzo's rushed out of his goal. This is a huge opportunity. Colombia have scored. Well, Paul Luzzo, who's been so fantastic, man, in his Socceroos career so far, with some unbelievable performances, unfortunately got that one all wrong, and Colombia have just about secured victory now. It's 2-0. It's 2-0. Well, it goes from bad to worse for the Socceroos. I'm not sure what Paul Luzzo was doing there. I've been so happy for Paul Luzzo and his breakthrough into the Socceroos squad, but that is a truly uncharacteristic error from Paul Luzzo, but he got that completely wrong. I mean, the bizarre thing is he came out for it, but then he completely pulled out. Paul Luzzo, like, he didn't even make a challenge for the ball there, Paul Luzzo. So he rushed out of his box, but he didn't even try to go for the ball. So it's a bit hard to understand what Paul Luzzo's intention was in that moment. He's been so good. An incredible performance against Canada. Some great games against New Zealand, and he's made some good saves tonight. But Paul Luzzo will know that he can't afford to make errors like that. Colombia have been too good tonight, man. 6 minutes added on, goodness me. Got 6 minutes added on. No idea where that's come from. I would have been surprised to see more than 3. But we've got 6 more minutes, so more football. So, hey, maybe there's a glimpse for Australia to make an incredible comeback. That's right, Luke. A rare mistake by Izzo. Yep, should highlight that. That's a very, very rare mistake. He's been so good. He's been nearly perfect, Paul Izzo, for the Socceroos. But that was a real blunder. That was a real error. So, Socceroos have it. Just look at how quickly Colombia are just closing down the Socceroos players. As soon as we get the ball, there's just no time to think. Here's Truant. Socceroos. Truant's going to send it across. It's not a great delivery. FC Oz asks, what happened to Keanu Bacchus? Yeah, he's definitely fallen out of favour. I'm sure he's still in the conversation, but Yeah, man, playing his football at St Mirren in Scotland. And it looks like he is playing regularly there as well. But yeah, I think there's just probably a number of midfielders ahead of him at the moment. Another corner coming up for Colombia. They're showing the replay of that second goal for Colombia. And yeah, just very, really bizarre moment there for Australia back. Just really uncharacteristic for a team who've been, it's Australia side who've been defensively so good with their decision making and their organisation. Corner for Colombia. Oh, great save. It's in. It's 3. It's 3. Australia have completely fallen apart. Colombia have just walked that one in. It's 3-0. Well, it's a scoreline that's not really reflective of the game, to be fair. The Socceroos have been very good defensively, but Australia have completely fallen apart here at the end. Not good at all, Emu. Not good at all. This is a true disaster here for Australia. 3-0. The Socceroos, who are usually so good from set pieces. Ballard. I mean, whether there was a foul there on the build-up. I mean, Ballard, the attacking player there for Colombia was all over Ballard. But regardless, Australia need to be better in trying to win the duels there as that cross came in. And it's 3-0. And this is now a real alarm bells for Tony Popovic. This is a real big moment for Tony Popovic now. And you know what the shame is? You know what the shame is, folks? That we're going to have to wait months until we see a response. Because the Socceroos don't play until March next year, right? There's going to be a long few months coming for Tony Popovic, and he needs to get it right. He needs to get it right, because this just isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. And I've been, we've been watching Tony Popovic and the games for the Socceroos over the last year or so that he's been in charge, and I've been like so impressed with what we've seen. And I think, and I'm still very happy with Tony Popovic to be in charge of this side into the World Cup. I think he absolutely has to be in charge heading into the World Cup. But this is probably the biggest test of his career. Tony Popovic, this guy knows what it takes to take his teams to success, winning a premiership with Perth Glory in 2019. Taking Melbourne Victory, taking Western Sydney Wanderers to A-League Grand Finals. But this, being the head coach of the Australian men's national team heading into the 2026 World Cup, we are currently not on the course we want to be. 3 consecutive defeats, and this one, well, it's been a funny game. I think defensively, again, we've been all right, but the scoreline is just disastrous. Wow, hey. That's right, Catchy, yeah. Says, did not expect that score after most of the game was 0. Yeah, the most disappointing part is just to seeing the way that Colombia have just, well, the way Australia have just fallen apart at the back. And again, even when we went 1-0 down, there was no indication that the Socceroos were going to get back. So Colombia were just continuing to dominate. So there was no sign that the tide was turning. So something needs to change for Australia. That much is clear now. The formation, while it brings defensive solidity and security, it's completely toothless in attack. And look, it's nothing against the players. It's nothing against the players. I think it's the system that we are playing has been found out now. It worked to get us through qualifying, but it's clearly not going to work at the World Cup. So Tony Popovic has to make some big changes, I think, for the next games for the Socceroos. Full time in New York City. It's a disastrous result for Australia. It's 3-0 loss to Colombia. A lot of work to do for the Socceroos. Got a long time still before our next games next year, but it is a truly horrible way to finish the year. 3 consecutive losses and a 3-0 defeat here to Colombia. Credit to Colombia, man. This is a high-quality team. We should acknowledge that, but we should be more competitive than this, man. We should be more competitive. Yeah, man. There's not much to say after that. It's a bit of a disastrous position to be in now. And all of a sudden, Australia are really dropping off now. It's a 3-0 defeat. Guys, thanks very much for tuning into this live watch-along. A lot to be concerned about here for the Socceroos. We need to see big improvements. Appreciate you guys joining us. Hit the like button on the way out, folks. And stay subscribed for more Socceroos and Australian football content right here on Oswald Football. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your weeks. My name's Lockie, and I'll see you in the next one.